I'm Genesis and welcome back to my channel, Expat Genesis. Today we're going to be talking about side hustles in the publishing industry, more specifically the self-publishing industry. This is something that works really well for expats. So Amazon has made it possible for you to publish your book wherever, whenever you are. So this is perfect for us expats. Today we're going to be talking about 6 side hustles in the self-publishing industry. These are some really great ways for you to make money as an expat. You can do it really anywhere in the world. And it's not just about writing. So, without further ado, we're going to start off with number 1, writing books. So when you think about self-publishing, the first thing you think about is writing. A lot of people don't get into this industry because they think, I can't write. So if you're a person who can write, then this section is for you. So we'll start off with fiction. Fiction is the thing that you might think about when you think about writing a book, a novel, a mystery book, things like that. So while these are our options, fiction may not sell as well as nonfiction. One of the issues is that there's just so much out there. So fiction is basically a way for people to escape. If you can write a great story, then you can sell it. However, you've got to make sure that people can find it too. One of the things that you can really focus on is what's trending. So writing to market or writing what is popular right now is one way to do that if you really want to make money on it instead of just focusing on what you love to write. There's 2 schools of thought on that. Some people like to write to market. Other people feel that it's selling out. I personally feel that writing to market is a really good idea, especially if you enjoy the market. So what happens when you write to market is you're writing in a niche that people are really enjoying at this moment. For example, alien romance. That took off a while back. All of a sudden you saw all kinds of blue aliens and green aliens and stuff like that on the book covers. When this was starting out, there were only a few books available. And one of the things that happens with fiction reading is people focus on a genre and they read everything they can in it. They get obsessed and they will buy multiple books on it. For example, in the alien romance area, people started just reading as many as they could, and there weren't that many books in the market at that time. So anyone who wrote a book was pretty much guaranteed to get read at that point. So that's writing to market, and once you've established yourself in a new trend, you can just take off. Okay, so that's one way to do it, and I've tried that before and it works very well. How much can you make writing as a fiction author? Totally depends. Some people make no money, other people make thousands of dollars a month, other people make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So there's really no limit. It depends on whether you write well, whether you take off with your series. Usually you should write a series to start out with just to get people caught up and they'll keep buying. And the promotion, there's a lot of factors that go into it. And I'll probably make a video on that at some point in the future, but right now we're just going to cover it a little bit, for just the basics. Alright, the second one is nonfiction. When you write nonfiction, you are solving a problem. People are looking for a specific book on a specific topic. For example, if they want to learn about budgeting, right? They're going to go and they're going to look for a book, the best book on budgeting. Now, this can be difficult to get into because imagine that, for example, you're writing about budgeting. You're up against people like Dave Ramsey who have already established their presence and they've already proven that they're the experts in this area. So it can really help to have like a website and a bit of a presence online so that you've established yourself as an expert in whatever area you're planning on writing in. So in this area, with nonfiction writing, you're probably going to see people buying 1, maybe 2 or 3 books. They're looking for a solution. They're not looking for all the solutions, right? They want the best. So that's something to keep in mind. However, if you have the solution, then you can make a lot of money off it. We're also going to look at ghostwriting, which is where you write a book for someone else. They put their name on it. All right. This can be very lucrative. A lot of people ask me, why would you write a book if you don't get the credit for it? Money. Basically money, and also you get a little bit of experience doing it. So ghostwriters can make a lot of money. I'm not at the top of that game because I've only done it for simple business books and stuff like that. I haven't done like celebrity memoirs and things. But some ghostwriters end up making between $10,000 and $40,000 per book, and if you can write multiple books in a year, that's pretty amazing. Now, I don't do memoirs and things like that because it involves a lot of personal contact, which honestly I just like to have a topic and then I go for it. So number 2 is editing. Every book needs an editor. Okay? It doesn't matter whether the person who's writing it is a college professor specializing in the English language, okay? There's still going to be mistakes. You cannot write your own book without having mistakes. So that's where people who enjoy finding those mistakes and fixing them are going to find a job. So this side hustle is ideal for people. For example, if you are one of those people who jumps on Facebook and you're like, oh my gosh, this person used your and you're wrong, this is a good job for you. If you pick up every mistake in the company email, this is a good job for you. So there's 3 different types of editing. First of all, we have developmental editing. This is where the editor helps the author basically pull everything together into a cohesive unit. So the author probably has already written some things down. They might not have the whole book yet. And basically, you're going to help them put it into an order that makes sense. It's based more on structure than grammar. What I found in my research, because it depends greatly, they say the average is around $7 per page for developmental writing. Some people are going to charge more. They're probably better at what they do. Line editing is going through and making sure that everything is properly said, making sure that dialogue sounds realistic, making sure that the character that you wrote about in the first page doesn't disappear throughout the whole book, and making sure that there's continuity. Okay, so that tends to cost around $5 a page. Some people charge by the word. I mean, it depends. Finally, we have copy editing. This is like proofreading, where the editor is going to go through everything. You're going to find the extra commas. You're going to find like where the grammar is off, where somebody put ought instead of to. Basically, all those little errors that really can make a book look less professional. Now, some editors offer all of these options, and some of them offer just some of these options. So, for example, you might just be a developmental editor, if that's what you prefer. Other people prefer only line editing. Okay, so you can choose which one you want to do. Side hustle number 3 is cover design. Every book needs a cover. Some authors try and make their own covers, and that usually doesn't go very well. If you're good with graphic design and you can make a book cover, this is an area that every author needs. And here's a little trick. Authors will buy book covers for books they haven't even written yet. Sometimes they look at a cover and they're like, yeah, I need it. I can write a book for that. Some authors actually end up having like a stockpile of covers. So this is a really good area to get into if you're graphically inclined. All right. So there's 2 different areas that you can work in. One is pre-mades, where you make your own book covers based on the genres. For example, if you're looking at mysteries and you're looking on Amazon, you look at the covers on all the mystery section, okay? Then you would create a book cover that looks somewhat similar in style and theme to those books. Then you would put it up as a pre-made. Now, pre-mades don't cost as much because all you're going to change on this when someone buys it is the author name and the book title. Okay, so it's nice and simple. You do what you want, you put up the book cover, you sell it. All you gotta do is change the text. Okay, so in this case, there's not a lot of back and forth, and you can sell it fairly quickly. I've seen pre-mades go for as low as $25, but usually you're gonna pay around $75 to $100, $150 for a pre-made cover. If you're doing covers in specific genres, for example, the lesbian romance, or if you're doing like reverse harem, for example, with one woman and multiple men on the cover, those covers are really hard to find. So look at the genres and see what is in demand right now. You can join book groups, and often the authors will tell you exactly what they're looking for. You can put up your own website with all your pre-mades, or you can end up jumping on another website. There's lots of sites that sell pre-mades by different, okay? So that's an option. The other option is to create custom book covers. Now, with this, you can end up making between $300 and $1,500, more or less. It's a very lucrative area because the author is telling you exactly what they want, and you're creating what their vision is. This also makes it very difficult because you have to remember the author has a picture of their character in their head. They know exactly what's going on, and you're trying to translate that from their head, which you can't access, onto the book cover, which can be very frustrating sometimes. As an author, I know how difficult it can be to convey exactly what I want for a book cover. So if you're someone who can actually do that, and you can talk to the author and discover like what they want for the book cover, and then turn it into reality, you can make quite a bit of money. And you can also expand that by offering, for example, you might offer an ebook package. where you create the ebook cover. You might also want to make a paperback cover. Now in that case, you're going to need to think about the spine width. You have to know exactly how big the book is. This is something that you have to have more technical knowledge. You need to know exactly how the books are printed and how to set them up. You can also offer social media packages where you create Facebook headers and such using the same image. So you can actually make a lot more money with the exact same image for the same writer. So you can actually make a lot of money off of the same writer. And if they're doing a series, they're going to come back to you so that they can have the continuity of the covers will all look the same. Some of them will even buy a multiple cover set at once. Number 4 is a publicist. Most of them aren't going to go anywhere if you don't promote them. A book publicist manages everything for the author. Authors tend to be quite introverted in many cases, so actually getting out there and promoting yourself is not our forte. Which is where a publicist comes in. So if you're somebody who loves to be on the phone, you can talk to everyone, what you would be doing is calling up bookshops and getting the books in there, getting book signings set up. Maybe not right now, but you'd be doing interviews, setting up interviews for the author, and basically notifying the press, getting out press releases, and everything like that. So basically you're just putting the book out there, making sure that people know about it. There's other areas that are popular under that publicist listing. You might specialize in social media. So you would be responsible just for social media, putting out on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter information on the book, promoting the author, and basically just getting their name out there. And every time a new book comes up, you're going to start pumping it a little bit before the book comes out, and then when it's released, you'd have a big launch and so on. Okay, now authors need this in a lot of cases. Now new authors might not join up with your packages, but as soon as somebody has a few books under their belt, they're going to want to really start publicizing it, and that's where you come in. A book publicist can make anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 a month, depending on how much they're going to be doing, and usually you want to set up a 3-month contract minimum, because in a month you're not going to be able to do an awful lot of building up momentum and such. So you want those 3 months just to make sure that you can really properly promote the book and that you're getting paid for it. Number 5 is a book coach. I didn't even know this was a thing until really recently, and it turns out I've been helping people write books for free, and it's actually a career. I didn't even know. A book coach basically helps people get their book written and then out there. So a lot of people, they have the idea they want to write a book, but they don't actually put it out, right? They don't actually sit down and write the book. It's really hard. You sit there, you look at the blank screen, and you start thinking, am I really qualified to do this? So a book coach is someone who basically acts as moral support and accountability partner. So you're going to be calling this person up and going, okay, have you finished your outline? I need to see that. I need to see your outline within the next 2 days. You go over it and say, what about this? You seem to be missing this section, or maybe you should write also about this, etc. So you give them ideas. You're going to really be pushing them, because some people need that push. You can give them homework. You can give them deadlines. Okay, and some people just work better with that, and they need this coach to keep pushing them. All right, they might even need help in the start, like figuring out exactly what to write. Maybe they want to write a book about their business, but they're not sure where they should focus that book on. So as a book coach, you're going to walk people through step by step exactly what they need to do, figuring out their idea, figuring out the outline, writing each chapter, and then eventually going on to publish it. It's a very helpful side hustle for the writers who are just having trouble getting out there. And it's also really encouraging, like when you've worked with someone and they actually publish their book and then they go on to do well. It's exciting. Number 6, our last side hustle in the self-publishing industry is formatting. As a formatter, you're going to be taking what the author has dumped down on the page, and you're going to be organizing it, setting it all up, typesetting it if it's for a print book, and basically making sure that book looks amazing. Most authors get completely confused at this point. I personally use a template that I use for my published books, but not everybody does that, and in some cases even the template doesn't really give you the look that you want. That's where you come in as a formatter. If you understand typesetting and how to set up all the text and move it around and make sure the chapters start on the right page and everything, then this is the perfect job for you. Because so many people are not willing to figure this out. It's complicated, it's technical, and really the writer just wants to get back to writing. So if you can take their words, make them look amazing on a page, add in like those little swirls or chapter headings and everything like that, make sure their table of contents is set up properly, make sure that the pages are properly numbered. These are things that get really complicated, and honestly, as an author, we don't want to work with that. We don't want to deal with that. So having someone else take care of it, perfect. and we're willing to pay for it. As a formatter, you can end up making anywhere from $500 to like $1,500. Okay, the reason for that is that books vary drastically. Let's say that you're formatting a regular nonfiction book that has basic chapters, nothing fancy. Okay, it's not going to cost that much of your time or energy to set it up properly, especially if you have a template already laid out. Okay, now what if somebody wants sidebars set into their book, or images and graphs, and they have all this stuff that needs to be set up without destroying the formatting? Okay, I've tried this before. It is a mess. So if you know how to do that, then you're going to be in high demand, but you're also going to charge more for that. So the more complicated the book is, the better. Ebooks are super simple to format, okay, except when it comes to images, and books that are going to be in print are going to be a lot more complicated. So those are 6 side hustles in the self-publishing industry. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and a subscribe. And I'll be turning out more videos like this on various side hustles and things that expats can do. Thanks for watching.